Hey, Spuddies, Potato Whiskey here, and welcome to my negative review of Civilization 7. If you're interested in hearing my positive review of Civilization 7, there will be a video linked in the description. This video will focus on the reasons I think people shouldn't buy Civilization 7 on launch. If you replied to this video with some kind of pet issue that I didn't address in the video that I am making specifically to criticize Firaxis in Civilization 7, after I tell you that this video will only contain negative opinions, and that there is a separate video for positive opinions, I swear to God I might actually lose my mind. The most important reason to not purchase Civilization 7 on launch is because I don't actually think the game feels fully ready for launch. I want to qualify that position. I think the game is really fun and in a really good place, but there are certain aspects of the game that I would have expected to be in a better state before launch. I'm talking about certain issues with the UI, bugs with the legend system, balance issues, things of that nature, right? Certain aspects of Civilization 7's package, they feel a little bit unpolished. Now, I can forgive them a little bit for this because it's hard to get all that stuff rock solid and ready when you have a big, complicated project, right? And the best way to generate feedback is to get it into the hands of fans. I do think, though, if the game had maybe another quarter of polish, like another 3 months, it could have been ready. It could have been ready. I think it's coming out the gate like 95% baked is how it feels. Maybe 90, maybe 85, maybe 90, somewhere in there. Okay, it feels like it's slightly undercooked. Is my vibe on Civ 7. So really, what this is if that puts you off, it's a recommendation. Come back and check the game out in like 3 months to a year, and if the game, if you need that game to feel a little bit more polished, jump right in then. A simple way to sum up my opinion about the state of Civilization 7 on launch is that the gameplay and concepts are in a really interesting place. However, the UI is an incredibly unpolished, terrible mess, and the game is riddled with little weird decisions and bugs and frustrations that should have been ironed out by now in the development process. I think the UI in Civilization 7 is so incredibly bad that the UI in Civ 4 is better. Like, once Sucratact gets his hand on the game to improve the UI, I'm sure it won't be as bad, but I really do think that's a sorry state of affairs when I'm gritting my teeth hoping that a good UI mod comes out for the game. Now, another reason that it might be okay or a good idea for you to hold off on buying Civilization 7 is that change is a difficult process. You might not actually enjoy the game when you buy it. I'm going to be honest with you, my first game or two, I was struggling, I was frustrated, and I was angry with the game. But after about 20 hours, I found myself really enjoying it. Now, I often scoff at people when they tell me a TV show or a book series gets good after a season or two, and I'm like, I'm not going to subject myself to mediocrity for a dozen hours to get the juicy reward, okay? I'm not going to do it. I did it with Civ 7 because there's a lot of internal and external motivations happening there, but I'm not going to do it just because you tell me to. So, like, if you're a fan of Civilization 7, prepare to take your time to adjust to the new mechanics. It's going to be a learning process, and a frustrating learning process at that. Things don't work like they used to, and the game is super complicated, like way more complicated in a lot of ways than previous titles, just at the baseline mechanics. And it's going to take some adjusting. Like, if you're a fan of Civ 5, you're probably going to hate Civ 7. If you hated Civ 6, I'm going to tell you right now, Civ 7 is like Civ 6 more, because it doubles down on a lot of the things that Civ 5 players hated about Civ 6. City unstacking, they did that more. Buildings or districts are gone, but now buildings, you place them on tiles, and it involves complicated calculations about like adjacencies and wonders, and there's a lot more going on in the areas of the game that Civ players won't enjoy, like district placement and leader civilization abilities. There's a lot more areas and edges to get frustrated with if you're a Civ 5 player who liked the straightforwardness of Civ 5's gameplay. If you're a fan of Civ 6, I think it could very easily go either way. Many of the things that I loved about Civ 6 are missing. I loved and adored the art style in Civ 6. The leader artwork was incredible, and even though people called them Disney-ish, that's something I love about the game. The stylized leader models were really great in my eyes, and I hate the way leaders look in the new game. I'm probably in the minority in that opinion. I really loved how colourful the game was. It's a masterclass in using colour as a communication tool, which I think the new game absolutely fails to capitalize upon. The game looks like a grey mess. When it comes to like actual information communication, it's terrible. I hate it. The gameplay communication through the use of color has taken a massive step back in Civilization 7. Science buildings are blue in Civ 6. Like, culture buildings are purple. Production buildings are brownish orange. Gold buildings are yellow, and so on. And it's so crazy. Like, you just look at a screenshot of Civ 6 and you're like, that's a gold building. That's a science building. Blah blah blah. I can't listen. In Civ 7, everything looks the same. It all looks like it looks like somebody spilled a big old urban mess onto a buffet table. It's just a fucking mess. Civilization 7 cities, they just like somebody spilled buildings all over the map. You can't tell them apart. It's a huge step back. Huge step back. I think they should have stuck to their guns when it comes to the strong color palette and the strong design. I think they overcorrected because of community backlash. They overcorrected in a game that was like the most popular Civilization game of all time, and I think it was a huge fucking L, and they fucked up. The UI and design of buildings in Civilization 6 were nearly perfect, in my opinion. The game was bright and gorgeous and everything, and Civ 7, by contrast, looks like a grey mess, and I suspect this is as a result of that overcorrection based on the huge backlash from the community on the art style of Civ 6, which was, I'm gonna just say it, if you think Civ 6 looks cartoonish, you're dumb, okay? That's my hot take. I'm gonna make everyone mad with this video. That's my goal. Civilization developers, please, for the love of God, stick to your guns. The bright art styles were amazing. I can't look at gray anymore. I'm gonna need mods to brighten this game up. It's depressing to look at. So depressing to look at Civilization 7, particularly the cities. The landscapes are gorgeous. Oh my God, the landscapes are gorgeous. But look, I'm going to make the argument that one of the reasons Civ 6 was so successful and so popular was its art style and its use of color as a communication tool. And Civ 7 art style and the abandonment of color communication is going to hamper the shit out of the game's success. It is by far the thing that I would change the most about the game, about the art style, you know, after changing leaders, of course. And I absolutely I can't wait until someone makes a mod, okay, that color codes the buildings so I can actually tell where the fuck anything is in my cities, because right now it looks like somebody vomited Lego pieces, little Lego buildings all over my map in an incomprehensible carpet of doom. Okay, seriously, I really do think, like, if they just went back and they made the roofs of buildings the color of the yield that they generate, it would make the game so much readable, so much more readable. Listen, fuck your focus groups, okay? I don't give a damn what they said. They're wrong. Color is super important for gameplay communication. I need that tight and beautiful gameplay communication, and Civilization 7 suffers because it feels like the developers are playing it safe when they had actually solved this problem. This problem was solved. You fixed it. You did it. And then you threw the baby out with the bathwater when you corrected. And now they're taking risks with gameplay, which actually kind of paid off. But I think the art style, huge step backwards. Graphically, from a technical standpoint, the game looks gorgeous and it's beautiful. But I think from a design standpoint, there's a little bit of a step back there. And this is especially true. Oh my God, the user interface, it's an absolute disaster. It's an absolute fucking disaster. I don't even know where to begin. Information in the game is missing, incomplete, nothing is explained. Where information doesn't exist, you just like go fuck yourself sometimes when you're trying to figure something out. And where information does exist, it's difficult to read, it's difficult to understand, it's incomplete, it's just, oh my God. It's like they said, it's literally like, if you imagine a dialogue tree, like in an RPG, and the fucking UI team, like, picked every evil option. They just went renegade. They chose all of the bad options for the UI. Like simple, really simple things. Like when you open up the technology choice thing, like the button to open the tech tree is now at the bottom of that menu. So when you click the button, you have to move your mouse all the way across the screen instead of like a centimeter down. It's like they started over from scratch it's different for the sake of being different. And I fucking despise the UI. To the point where it got me so mad yesterday that I even sent Carl, one of the most beautiful, lovable teddy bears of a developer, okay? Absolute gem of a man, okay? I fucking abused him in his DMs for like 10 minutes because I got mad at the UI in the game. And I gave him a big old rant. I did apologize after it. Oh my God, I hate the UI. To the point where I was like, dude, I'm going to play Civ 6 on the launch day of Civ 7 as a fuck you to the UI team. That's how much I hate the UI in this game. I hate it. I fucking hate it, dude. I hate it. I'm actually shaking as I talk about this. I had to stop going back and looking at Civilization 6, and I had to stop thinking about this because it was actually making me mad. Like, I was getting emotional about how did they do this? They took away hotkeys and gameplay mechanics and gameplay systems and hotkeys and all these things, and there's just less. There's less. There's less stuff now. There's no next action key. It's all fucked, man. It's all fucked. I don't judge the game as harshly as I did when I was in those feelings. But when I think about them, I get mad, okay? I don't know how to make you understand just how bad the user interface in Civilization 7 is. And I am not being hyperbolic when I say the UI team made every single wrong decision possible. And that it would be perfectly reasonable for someone to buy the game, start playing, and immediately refund the game because of the UI. That would be a completely reasonable decision process. And I would support someone doing that 100%. It's so demoralizing to talk about the UI because I don't even know how to explain it. It just looks bad. It just looks so shit and has no information. To the point where I got so mad yesterday that I was like, I'm going to cancel that trip I have where I'm going to Hamburg to host a Civilization event and play Civ 6 on launch day instead as a fuck you because they fucked up so bad. But like, I was really mad when I was yelling that in a recording that will never be released. Right now I'm a little bit more chill. It's like, obviously that's an unreasonable thing to do, but it made me that mad. Okay? I still really like the game, but God, I hate the UI. It's so bad. It's so bad. Everything, like, genuinely, Civ 6 UI, chef's kiss, masterpiece. Civ 5 UI, chef's kiss, masterpiece. Civ 7 UI, what is this dog shit? What the fuck have you done to my game? That's how I feel about the UI. Anyway, that's really the main reason I think people shouldn't buy Civ 7. Is like, if the UI is really important to you, don't buy it. It's going to make you mad. If you think you can muscle through the UI, go for it, dude. Jump right in. There are a couple of other reasons, like de novo. People have talked a lot about de novo. That's another reason you might consider not buying Civilization 7 is it has de novo DRM. I am not informed enough about the de novo DRM issue. I haven't had as much time as I would like to read up on it. I've been trying to also find time to arrange an interview with the people who work at de novo so I can find out more about it. I want to do research on the issue. I don't know anything about de novo to speak with any sort of authority on the topic, so I'm only going to mention it so that people in the comments can't be like, what, no mention of de novo? Listen, dude, the reason I haven't been talking about de novo is because I don't know shit about, I don't know what the fuck it does. I don't know what it is. What is de novo? I don't know. And you're scaring me by posting those in my comments, man. I don't fucking know what it's about. Jesus. The game has also been criticized for being expensive and releasing paid DLC within a few months of launch. I think that's a perfectly reasonable criticism. Personally, I prefer the old way of getting, you get an expansion once a year, maybe a patch or two, maybe 2 expansions in a year if you're lucky, rather than a sort of constant feed of new content that, that sort of content cycle can become a little bit exhausting to keep up with, even though it's my job, right? The game has also been criticized for offering the early access pre-order bonus. For me, personally, I always feel like if you have to sweeten a deal to get me to sign on, the deal isn't very fucking good. I instinctively shy away from the manipulative FOMO stuff. It gives me a little bit of an ick. It gives me a huge ick, actually. It's why I hate mobile games with those daily login bonuses. Or, they have those mobile games where it's like, oh, limited time offer. If you buy this thing in the next hour, it's only $1. And I'm like, ugh. If your game is good enough, I'll want to log in and play it because it's fun. Not just log in to tick a box and get a shiny little tiny reward. And I kind of feel similarly about the game offering advanced early access to the game. You're monetizing FOMO for pre-orders and you're monetizing impatience, which, yeah, sure, is like clever if you're a top hat wearing money mogul business baron, but I just respect you less as a result and it pushes me away from your game and your business and all that sort of stuff. It's what I call the thin end of the wedge, okay? It doesn't feel so bad when that first inch of the wedge goes in, but as it gets thicker, as they drive that thing into your heart and into your wallet to wedge that open, it's what the companies are going to do, man. So we got to give them, you got to give them shit. Like, listen, the people don't have enough money. Stop charging as much money. Another kind of meme reason you might not want to buy Civilization 7 is that the people have been saying like, oh, the leader roster is woke and DEI. And like, I'm going to be honest with you, dude, I don't give a fuck. I think diversity is a good thing. Representation is awesome, especially when it comes to media. However, I do think that the leader roster in Civilization 7 is extremely weak and criticizable. Where the fuck is my Genghis Khan? Where's my Gandhi? Okay, these things are important to me. Some of these leaders are important to me. Okay, I can't nuke a bitch with Gandhi. That just feels wrong, man. Anyway, ultimately, I'm just a little bit sad about the state of the game. Mostly 95% of that is the UI. It's a really fun game. And there's a couple of like little blind spots here and there in the development process and stuff like that, most of which have to do with the user interface. But I can muscle my way through them. So yeah, those are the reasons I could think of why not to buy the game. Because sometimes when I'm playing the game, the UI makes me want to throw my computer out the window and reinstall Civ 6. But that ship has sailed. So yeah, here's my negative review. Fuckers. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.